If we only have one child, what if we mess them up? That's the thought that keeps so many parents awake at night. Not the sleepless newborn phase, not the tantrums or the teenage years, but this quiet, gnawing fear. What if all our love, all our attention, all our hope becomes too much? If that thought has ever crossed your mind, you need to hear this. More families today are choosing to have just one child. Not because they don't want more, not because they don't love being parents, but because the world feels heavier now. The cost of childcare in the US rivals college tuition. In Europe, housing prices have made the family home feel like a distant dream. And then there's the emotional math parents do late at night. Can we give 2 children what they deserve? Or will we just stretch ourselves so thin that everyone suffers? So they choose one beautiful, deeply loved child, and then the fear creeps in. Will they be lonely? Will we smother them? Will we project all our unfulfilled dreams onto their little shoulders? Today, we're talking about the thing no one says out loud. The emotional weight of raising an only child in a world that keeps telling you you're doing it wrong. Section 1. Why one child? Let's start with the facts, because they matter. In the 1970s, having 3 or 4 kids was normal. Today, the average family size in most Western countries hovers around 1.5 children. In cities like New York, London, and Berlin, single-child families are becoming the norm, not the exception. Why? Money. The cost of raising a child to age 18 in the US is estimated at over $300,000. That's before college, before braces, before the school trip to Italy they'll guilt you into, mental bandwidth. Modern parenting demands are intense. We're expected to be emotionally available, physically present, career-driven, and somehow still have time to meal prep organic snacks. Relationship survival. Here's the part no one talks about. Many couples are terrified a second child will break them, because the first one already pushed them to the edge. They remember the fights over who changed the last diaper, the resentment when one partner got to leave the house, the months where they felt like co-parents but not partners. So they stop at one, and they pour everything they have into that child. But here's what most parents don't realize. Section 2. The invisible pressure. When you only have one child, they become everything. Your joy, your purpose, your report card on whether you're a good parent. And without even meaning to, you start to hover. You sign them up for piano and soccer and coding camp because opportunities. You check their homework twice because I just want them to succeed. You feel your chest tighten when they struggle to make friends because what if they're lonely because we didn't give them a sibling? Psychologists call this intensive parenting, and it's exhausting for you and for them. Research shows that only children can feel what's called the spotlight effect, the sense that they're constantly being watched, evaluated, and worried about because they are. One study from the University of Texas found that parents of only children were more likely to intervene in conflicts at school, control play dates and social interactions, express anxiety about their child's future. Not because these parents are controlling, but because when you have one shot, every decision feels like it carries the weight of their entire childhood. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Your child can feel that weight. They sense when you're living through them. When their B+ feels like your failure. When their choice to quit violin feels like a referendum on your parenting. But before you spiral into guilt, because I know some of you are already there, let me tell you what else the research says. Section 3. The Surprising Strenghts. Only children are not doomed. In fact, they often thrive in ways that surprise people. Studies consistently show that only children tend to have stronger vocabularies because they spend more time talking to adults, show higher academic achievement, more resources, more focused attention, develop deeper relationships with parents because there's time for real connection, be just as socially adjusted as kids with siblings. That stereotype of the lonely, spoiled only child, it's outdated. And honestly, it's kind of insulting. Only children aren't lonely because they don't have siblings. They're lonely if they don't have connections. And that's something you can provide through friendships, cousins, community, sports teams. The issue isn't that your child is alone. It's whether you can step back enough to let them figure out who they are without your anxiety shadowing every step. Because here's the thing. Section 4, the real question. The question isn't, will having one child harm them? The question is, can I love them fully without making my love feel like pressure? And that's hard, really hard. Because when you only have one child, there's no sibling to diffuse your focus. No second kid to remind you that children are resilient, that they'll survive your mistakes, that perfection is a myth. You have one. And so every scraped knee feels catastrophic. Every friendship drama feels like a sign you failed. Every choice they make feels like a reflection of you. But here's what I want you to hear. Your child doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be present and calm and confident that they're going to be okay. The damage doesn't come from being an only child. It comes from parents who are so terrified of getting it wrong that they forget to let their child just be. So yes, you'll worry. Yes, you'll wonder if you're doing enough. But the fact that you're here, watching this, asking these questions, that means you care. And that matters more than you know. Here's the truth about raising one child. It's not easier, it's just different. You don't get the chaos of siblings fighting over the remote, but you also don't get to hide behind the noise. Your child sees you, all of you, your fears, your hopes, your humanity. And maybe that's the gift. Because when you realize you can't be perfect, when you accept that your love doesn't have to be flawless to be enough, that's when you stop trying to control everything. That's when you start trusting them and yourself. So if you're raising an only child or thinking about stopping at one, here's my advice. Love them fiercely, but let them breathe. Invest in them deeply, but don't make them your entire identity. Worry when you need to, but don't let your worry become their burden. Because the truth is, they're not going to remember whether you signed them up for enough activities or whether you gave them a sibling. They're going to remember whether you made them feel like they were enough, just as they are. And if you can do that, you've already won. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story. Are you raising an only child? Thinking about it? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about the stuff no one else will. And if you found this helpful, share it with a parent who needs to hear it, because we're all just doing our best. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.